Hey everyone, it's Lainey. Welcome back and welcome if you're new. If you didn't catch last week's card, I'll link it down below for you so you can watch it after this video. I used the same color palette last week. It was a Christmas themed card and I loved it so much. I am bringing it back for another card this week. Once again, Christmas themed, and going to be using Concord and Ninth supplies. I've got the stitched polka dot card front die. I'm going to be using this tree from their Christmas Cloche Die Set, which I mentioned last week. I've got a really pretty card using the cloche coming. It's probably going to be closer to December, honestly. Okay, and once again, the colors. So Concord and Ninth has Sherbet, Sprout, Parsley, and I believe this is Seaglass, Oceanside, and then we'll have the Sherbet again. And this color combination came from a card that I saw on Pinterest from the Stamp Market, which is another card brand, and I love the colors so much, and they looked very similar to my Concord and Ninth colors, so I just matched them the best that I could, and that is how we've got the color palette that we're using today. Now, as you can see, the strips are already cut down, and I cut them down to 1/2 inch. And here is our panel. And before we do anything, actually, I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer and trim this down. And I'm going to apologize now. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I am not feeling well and haven't been feeling well for a while, but I've got to record. So I'll try to not cough or sniffle through the video. Just kind of bear with the deep voice for right now, please. Okay, so I want to cut this down to 3.5. Making sure that's lined up. Turn it. We'll do 3.5 by 5. And this is going to be our panel. And I've already prepared my card base. So I'm going to bring that in for visual purposes. And there you can see we've got quite a bit of margin there that we want because I want that color to poke through a little bit there as well. Okay, so moving my card base aside again, and going to take one of the trees from that set, and let's bring in our mat. Get it straight within these grids the best that I can, and then make sure the tree is centered. So I have the position of the die on my panel, and because this is my panel, I want to protect it. So I'm just going to lay another piece of cardstock down and then put my cutting plate on top of it, and then we'll get this run through. Okay, so we've got our panel, this cute little cutout here, and this would act as a really nice detail for a card too. Maybe if you had like a trio and we could have the card in a horizontal orientation. Well, 3 may be... Yeah, maybe have one popped up and then 2 behind. Oh my gosh, I've got another card coming, guys. Got another card. That just made my day. I'm going to use my Spellbinders magnet just to put the tree there so nothing happens to it. And now, still working on our card panel. Let's take this and bring this mat in again. Line this up. Let's put this on top. And I'm going to actually line it up this way so I can see the circles. Make sure that they're not going to be crooked, right? Okay, holding that together, kind of shook there a little bit. And same process, cutting plate on top. You bring in my cutting machine here, and I'm just going to run it through. Just kind of moving slow, just to make sure that it's getting a really good press. And here we have, and it looks kind of like the tree's over a little bit to the left, but there is our card panel. Very detailed, and I really like the playfulness of the polka dots. I really wanted to use the card front die that I used last week because it was snowflakes, and I thought that was very fitting, but we're using our supplies and changing it up. So polka dots was the winner. Alrighty, so now let's bring in our card base, and I'm gonna wipe these off real quick on my shirt because it's a dark shirt to make sure nothing transfers over from the magnet to my card, because magnets hold lots of grime. Okay. What I am doing here is just trying to figure out placement, because I want a certain amount of sherbet to show at the bottom and the top of the tree. And I'm going to start with the sherbet color. I'll make that one permanent first. Okay, let's pick this up. And let's pick up our sherbet first. What I want to do is just add a little liquid glue to this strip here. Position it. It's really important to make sure that that first strip that you glue down is straight, because that is going to lead the rest of the strips. So now I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer again and cut the excess strips off here. And I'm going to try to avoid cutting down the card base, but if I get a little bit, that's okay. Okay, and now I have my card base with the strips glued down, and that is what it looks like. Very clean. And now we just need to get our panel attached. I'm definitely going to lift this up. I just feel like the tree is a little over to the left. I might measure it just to check, because sometimes that stuff just really bothers my eye, and I just kind of like have to know. So these little pieces here, these are my scraps, okay? And how I store my scraps, I have shared before, but I will do it again. I have these little card folders here that I also put my finished cards in. And I just put my scraps in here. And then I store this with the full sheets as well. So I look through this first, and if I need the full sheet, it's right there next to it. So for the next step, yeah, it's totally over to the side. But once it's down and we've got the sentiment on it, I don't think it's going to be that much of an eyesore. So I'm just going to leave it so I don't waste my cardstock here. And I am using 110 cardstock for the card base, and I'm using 110 for the panel as well, just to add durability, because I knew that I wanted to not only lift it up, but I ran it through the die cut machine twice, and I just really like 110. So I'm just applying foam tape to the edges, as you can see here, and then I'll fill in the spaces. This would also make for a really good shaker card. Even if you have the color underneath. Oh man, it's too late now to put I kind of just wanted to make this into a shaker card. Because this would still be the background. You could do some kind of like snowflake type of iridescent fill. So it didn't take away from the color, but it just made it really pop. That would be so cute. Okay, let's line this up, Lainey. Straight margins, looking pretty good. Okay, now got some embellishments here. I pulled some dewdrops, and this little container, I've been asked about it before. This actually came with a diamond art set. But it's just like a little diamond art tray from Amazon. Like, it came with a set, but if you type that in, you can definitely find them. So I was playing around with this card build before I pressed record to try to get my thoughts together, and I'd already cut out the Mary a couple of times because I didn't know how it was going to look. So this Mary script die here is from the same collection, and like I said, I was playing around with things. So I did cut it out in the sherbet, and then I cut it out in the gold twice because I was kind of thinking like it would be cool if, you know, I had a couple. I kind of liked that, the repetition there. And then, you know, I was like, should we break up the monotony? And then I didn't like that and just decided against it. Oh, and I did layer them. I was thinking about doing multiple colors of cardstock and layering them and having them kind of offset to kind of bring out the other colors used, but really have the gold at the forefront. And that would look really cute, honestly. I really like that as well. But for this card, I'm just going to use this gold Mary here. And I recently purchased some of these strips. They are the Creative Expressions. I ordered this from scrapbook.com. It comes with 4 sheets and it's just repetitive, but it's 2 blacks and then 2 whites. And I just cut it down with my paper trimmer and then used my scissors. And this actually said it's Christmas, but I didn't want to say Merry It's Christmas. I wanted to have Merry Christmas. So just kind of cut this down and made it work. So let's go ahead and make the Mary permanent here. I'm going to bring in my tweezers and just add a little bit of glue here and then kind of spread it out with my precision tip. Okay. And I want it angled. And where the glue doesn't touch, it will just dry because this panel is elevated. Just removing some excess glue there. Okay. And once again, let's take our tweezers, add a little bit of liquid glue to this paper here. Is it straight? Sorry if my head's been in the way, guys. Okay. Oh, I love it. How pretty. So I also want to mention about these strips. I was reading on the back. It says these sheets are also foilable. So that is really, really nice to know. Okay. Now for the embellishments here, you could leave it alone because it does kind of have a lot going on with the panel because we use the polka dot die, but I also feel like it needs a little shine, a little more shine. And I'm thinking about just doing 3, just trying to cipher through and get these little smaller guys here. Yeah, I think something kind of like this. Let's just go ahead and make them permanent. I'm not 100% on them, but am I ever really? I'm hardly. So let's just add the 3. All right, everyone. So this is the finished card. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. You could repeat this so easily, and I encourage you, if you do, to create a shaker card. I should have done that. That would have been such a nice touch. But I love this color palette. The list of colors I used will be linked in the description box below. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next card or craft. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot. See you in the next one. Bye, everyone.